Hi guys, welcome to another restoration video. Today I'm going to be restoring this 1986 Matchbox Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit. Not your usual 50s or 60s, even 70s restorations, but this is something that I had as a kid, so it's dear to me. I've got two of these little cars. I wanted to restore the worst of the two, the car here, but the doors were sagging and I felt that I didn't want to put in 10 hours of restoration on a car that I couldn't even open and close the door. So I went with this one, and actually I prefer this colour if I had had one in real life. So of course we'll go with the drilling methods as usual. You'll notice I got a nice new vise. I managed to break part of the post on the rear, so I'll show that in a second. And then these wheels are, I love these, how they're easily replaceable. I enjoy doing wheel swaps. So there's the interior. It's fine. Perhaps a little dusty, but very usable. The glass is held in by a rivet, and you could see there that rear post is blown out on the side. So with the glass, the rivet removed, out that pops, and there's no cracks, no scratches, so a bit of light polishing, that'll go straight back in. So let's take the doors out. And pop off the lights and grille. They were just pushed in and just needed literally push, popped out. Perhaps there was some glue on there in the past, but it certainly didn't hold up today. One thing on these later cars that I've noticed then, certainly from the 80s, there was no interior trim detail. It was just the kind of numbers. So after filing down that rear post and tapping, we'll go ahead and trial fit the screws. And I've used a long screw. It was a 4mm, and you can't see that the post underneath is broken out. So that's a thumbs up for me. So let's pop off these wheels. I replaced the wheels from a different car, actually come off of a Volkswagen Beetle. The brand is a Real Toy. Now I don't have any footage of that, but you'll see the wheels later on in the video. So a nice warm soapy bath for the plastics, and a Nitromors bath for the metalwork. And whilst the Nitromors is doing its thing, dry off all the plastics and inspect. Looks like some little Ike has put some black pen on the lights in the past. Windscreen looks good, as does the interior. some metal polish auto sol on the windscreen, spread it around and give it a go on the cloth. The paint stripper took off perhaps 95% of the paint, and then I used the wire brush on my hobby tool, plus then the dentist toothpicks to dig out any small areas. Onto primer. I use this Tamiya Fine primer. I find that it's a very forgiving primer. Even idiots like me can use it without screwing up. I apply 2 coats with around a 10-minute dry time in between. I find that this dries very fast. Making sure that I get the interior, the inside of the doors especially. So it's been a day of fully drying. I'm using a different paint this time. This is an enamel gloss, very similar to the original colour of the car, and white spirit, a 2:1 ratio. You cannot use Tamiya X28 thinner. That is for acrylic paint only. Don't ask me how I found out. This is the first time that I've used enamel paint, and I much preferred it compared to the acrylic. I felt like it went on much nicer. It certainly has a much glossier finish. A couple of negatives. It appears to take much longer to dry. And it takes much longer to clean the airbrush after. So this is after a few coats. You can see the shine there. Now back to the base. I've got these little pens, steel wire pen, and then a brass one, and then a glass fibre one. But after I used those, I still felt that I wanted to get the base nice and shiny. Now this was originally black, but I didn't want it to be black, I wanted it to be shiny. Now whilst I had this shining tool, I also went over the windscreen. That was a mistake. And actually, what really shined up this base was that little bit of wire wool. So there's the windscreen. You can see all the divots that I've managed to put into it. Big thumbs down there. So out comes this donor car for its glass. And actually the interior from the donor car was nicer too, so we switched that out as well. After a light polish, the screen was good as new. Now with the front grille, I'm going to paint the lights in white, just a gloss white, and then the grille in chrome. And whilst I had my chrome pen out, I chromed the bumpers and left the base unpainted. So it's been 24 hours to cure. You can still see that it is lovely and shiny. So let's pop in the glass, pop back the interior, which I think is a good contrast to the colour. Fit the grille before you screw down the base. And you can see the wheels there. So this is what we started with. It needed a lot of help, and the end result. So you can see the chrome grille, the chrome bumpers, obviously the new paint job, the switched out of the glass, the switched out of the interior, and then the wheel swap from a Volkswagen Beetle, would you believe? I love this little car. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for the next upcoming videos.